Hello everyone, welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are going to get into the air signs mid-October love check-in. We're going to start right off with Gemini. Alright Gemini, how are you feeling today? This is going to be the middle of the month love check-in just to kind of see where you're at, what's going on. We're going to use the Celtic Cross variation, simplified. Switch up the spreads a little bit. Anything that you need to know is in the description. All right, link to book a private reading, links to my pick a card messages, and my other social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram are all, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are all in the description. And we are going to get right into it. Gemini. All right, here we go. At the center, we have Seven of Wands covered by a Six of Swords. Top is covered by Emperor, and we have a Victory in the bottom. So this is your conscious, unconscious, back of your head, front, forefront of your mind, your focal point, recent past, and what you're about to enter into now, what you're dealing with right now. So this is, let's just check out the bottom of the deck. We have King of Pentacles, all right? So King of Pentacles is talking about a good business sense. Let me make sure my camera's all right. All right, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles. All right, so the Knight of Pentacles is extremely supportive in business and finances, in the material realm, right? Oftentimes can be a benefactor. Definitely talks about taking charge of, you know, your career objectives, or a particular project, or you know, the material side of your life, whether it's your career, your health, or your environment, right? So let's just take a look here, Gemini. So at the center we have, of course, we have the Seven of Wands covered by the Six of Swords. And Seven of Wands talks about standing your ground, right? So right now, this middle of the month, you're feeling very much like you're having to come up with a lot of creative solutions in a way. Seven Swords is about finding creative ways to deal with these obstacles, right? You can see him standing there. He looks like he's actually standing on top of the world, not just a small bit of mound, but the perspective makes you feel like, and so it can often feel like you against the world. And so right now you're really feeling like you're having to go at it and really be strong, right? Especially if you want to achieve what you want to achieve, if you have a certain goal in mind, right? Six of Swords is covering it, and Six of Swords is a feeling of wanting to certainly be more harmonious in your communication. You're turning your back on negative situations, negative sort of communication. This is like a conscious, Six of Swords talks about a conscious decision to not engage with like sort of lower vibrational behavior, you know, whereas before you may engage in that. With Five of Swords, we're engaging, aren't we? Five of Swords, we're kind of like certainly dealing with somebody who may not be playing fair. They're really not, you're stooping to their level in a way, right? With Six of Swords, you rise above it and you decide to just turn your back from it. And it's a very good energy because it means that you're focusing more on positivity. For some of you, Six of Swords can actually indicate traveling, right? You may be traveling somewhere to increase your studies or increase some kind of learning, right? Because it is a Swords card. And six is also the number, not only to a journey to harmony, but it's also just journeying, right? So this is where you're at right now, this middle month period. So it could be that in your love life, you may have up until now really been feeling like you've been having to fight all of the battles. It could be that you and your partner are going through some kind of stressful situations right now, and you've been very much feeling like you're the only one sort of fighting, right? Could also be that you may be fighting with your partner a little bit as well during this middle period, right? However, this energy of Six of Swords is crossing, so it indicates that you're desiring to stop that, right? You're desiring to sort of work more harmoniously together. It could also indicate that things are starting to work a bit better together, that you're finding more of a common ground right now, right? This was the energy, the general energy, but it could be you and your partner finding a way to solve it. With Six of Swords, it can also be exterior sort of pressures, right? And you choose to leave that pressure behind together rather than have it affect your relationship. Now, at the top, it's interesting, you have the Emperor, and the Emperor talks about regaining control or authority, right? Regaining power, stabilizing a situation, right? Finding new ways to regain authority as well, and also to branch out in new ways, right? With the Four, though, with the Emperor, we must be careful to not be too rigid, right? So the Emperor is Aries, and so as long as this desire for stability and applying these leadership skills, right? As long as all of that is sort of applied to change, new things, new beginnings, because the Emperor is all about new beginnings as well, then it's used in a very positive way. But when we use these type of skills and abilities to sort of maintain the status quo, oftentimes Emperor energy can remain sort of fixed and rigid and too rigid and not expansive, and that's not a positive state for the Emperor, because the Emperor and that Aryan energy, Aries energy is really works best when he's discovering new land, new territory, new areas in our relationships, etc., etc. And so right now there's really a feeling of wanting to reestablish the relationship, but maybe with a bit of a different dynamic, right? Again, with this travel, you guys may be realizing, or Gemini, whoever you're partnering with, whether, this is a soulmate or not, you may be realizing that now's the time to kind of set the stage for changing the dynamic of the relationship. And it may be you that has to do that. You may need to take the lead in that. Right? You may take the lead and sort of readjust. Sometimes the dynamic relationship needs to readjust in order for it to be harmonious. And underneath of it all, you do have a feeling of victory. And it could be that you're going to be getting some reaffirmations that this feeling you have up here of wanting to change or really adapt your relationship is working. Some kind of reaffirmation will probably come in for some of you, Gemini. Because Six of Wands is a feeling of victory, vindication. It's a public one as well. And so, although it's a public vindication, but it's in the unconscious, this is the unconscious placement for the card. The energies that are more in the back of your mind, that are more deep in your conscious, that are more in your heart, that you don't really necessarily show to the world. Whereas this card is more representative of what you're focusing on with your consciousness, what you're really aiming your attention on, right? So the behind the scenes energy is this feeling of victory, right? Another six. Another journey sort of towards harmony, another harmonious connection. Remember, the Six of the major arcana is the Lover's card. So with sixes, we do have a connection. The Six of Cups is a beautiful soulmate energy card as well, right? So with sixes, we're talking about a lovely union, and a union that progresses, that journeys forward in a very harmonious way. And so you are feeling that inside, I think. I think you're feeling a sense of satisfaction. That you're going down the right path, right? Things have most recently changed, and so the Death card is on here. And so this is interesting. It could very well be That this desire now for you to change the dynamic, or maybe just change the way you are dealing with your love life, is because of this death that has recently happened. There's been some kind of transformation that has happened either in your current relationship or a previous relationship. And so it's a bit of it's kind of the death of an old way, perhaps, of engaging with your lover or interacting with your lover. And perhaps you guys, sometimes this can occur when you go, when you fight past the point of no return, sort of thing. Or when the relationship goes into a certain territory that it's never been before, and now something is totally different. This could also just be some kind of transformation that happened in your life, Gemini. Maybe a financial change or a job change or something that impacted your relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean the relationship changed so much, but something happened. Something really died in a way, came to an end, right? Something came to an end. It could have been a particular burden that you were carrying or a responsibility, a change, like I said, a change in job or environment, right? This is going to be very different for every Gemini if you're resonating with this, right? But what's significant to note is that it's this sort of like recent change that it's really impacting you right now. And it could be this that's really kind of led you to this place now where you've been having to sort of like fight for your position, fight for your ground a little bit. And so just to know where you're coming from, but interestingly, Gemini, you have a Eight of Swords. Now, Eight of Swords talks about not really being able to, feeling as though you're not able to make your own decisions, feeling alienated from the rest of the world. Be careful with the Eight of Swords, because you can resonate with it or you can have somebody coming in with it. Now, oftentimes, it is my gaslighter card. It's my victim card. And first, let me explain to you why. The Eight of Swords is the person who, because of their rigid thinking, which is symbolized by the swords all around them, right? Because of their rigid thinking and their inability to compromise or to listen to others, right? This is the person who thinks that they're right, and just won't let go, right? This person oftentimes alienates themselves from others. So you can see the person is alienated. They often blame others too. So you see they're blindfolded and bound. This type of person often will blame others for the decisions that they made. They often will say, well, if you didn't act this way, I wouldn't have to behave this way. This is all sort of indicative of that rigid way of thinking, right? So this is why I call this my victim card. Because people who resonate strongly with this generally play the victim. Also, it's my gaslighter card, because oftentimes this energy, these are the type of people who will, and if you're resonating with this energy, right? If a person is resonating with this is the type of person that really causes a lot of chaos and then blames you for it, or blames you for their chaotic decisions or chaotic behavior. Or they cause chaos in the relationship, and then when you respond, they act like you're the one who's crazy. That's what a gaslighter is, and that's also part of that kind of victim mentality. Now, what I'm saying here is that oftentimes I hate to say to my readers, hey, this is what you're resonating with, because that's a really harsh description, isn't it? It's the most toxic version. However, it starts off little. And you can begin to resonate with Eight of Swords when you just begin to sort of feel as though you have no other choice. When you begin to sort of, when you start to feel like you're frustrated and you begin to start blaming others around you. It starts very small, this energy. It doesn't have to be a full-blown toxic narcissist, right? It starts off small. It starts off also holding on to rigid ideas. If you're holding on to a way of communicating or thinking that is just uncompromising, that doesn't make room for others, or you find yourself over talking others and unable to listen to them, then you're beginning to resonate with Eight of Swords energy. And it's a time to sort of take a step back, because your stress and everything that you're going through is causing your ego to step in. You know, when your ego steps in, it's like an easy band-aid. I'll blame the rest of the world. I won't listen to them so I don't have to face them, right? I know it sounds harsh, but that's what it is. Now, this energy is coming in this month, if it hasn't already, in the middle of the month. This could be someone else in your life, Gemini, or this could be you beginning to feel this way. And if you are, you need to shake yourself loose of it. If this is someone coming into your life, or if your partner's beginning to resonate with this kind of energy, then you will need to nip that in the bud, or respond to it in some way, right? But you'll see, for those of you who resonate with this reading, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll know what I'm talking about when this energy begins to come in. And it's showing up in the reading because it's necessary for you to know about it. If you're resonating with this reading, it's necessary for you to know about this energy coming in and to be prepared for it so that you can handle it the right way. And to remember, overall, everything that's crossing is the Six of Swords. So when this energy comes in, right, the best way actually is to turn away. Don't engage. Don't engage this toxic energy. If your lover, either if your lover is beginning to resonate with it or beginning to show signs of this sort of behavior, continue with your Six of Swords, sort of, I'm not going to engage with negativity. You can either come with me and we can have a harmonious conversation, a normal conversation, you know, but I'm not going to sort of be manipulated by this, right? Again, take care this mid-month. Remember, it's also all about you taking control of your relationship here. That's what the Emperor is letting you know. You know, you could be dealing with a situation that is quite unstable right now, Gemini. And the Emperor is coming in to let you know that you really need to stabilize this, and you know what to do in order to stabilize it, right? And it could be as well a case of, with the King of Pentacles, this could be a money issue, right, that has changed here, right? It could be that money went away that was there, or maybe a job, maybe someone lost a job, or or you began to make more money than your partner. Whatever the case may be, there is some issue here with a money situation. And I'm going to say that it has something to do perhaps with a business or a person who's been a benefactor in your life or in your family somehow, because the King of Pentacles usually represents someone who's a strong leader in business, a strong leader in the material plane. Certainly someone who is a boss, someone who has a long history of wisdom and experience and has actually manifested his goals and his dreams, and he knows how to do that. So this is a very strong character, and certainly this energy here is somehow, I believe, connected with this death that you've went through most recently that is impacting your whole love life this month. All right, I'm going to quickly just pull a couple of soft cards for you guys. I'm not going to get long into it. Three shuffles and a cut. And we'll see what clarity we can get on these cards. There you go. So, Seven of Wands up at the top. Valor coming in, Sagittarius. More fire energy. Seven of Wands, right? It's the same card as the center card. So there you go. Showing courage is being a leader. You may have to show courage and step up and be a leader in your relationship. Forge a path, a new path, maybe a new dynamic. This is just simply to reinforce that this Emperor energy is what's being called for right now to deal with your center issue, which is the feeling that you're the only one sort of doing the work. You're the only one coming up with solutions. It's time to take more control. Right? Because oftentimes when we're, if you're in a relationship, you're the only one doing the work, then you're also fixing their problems too. Well, then you need to take control of the relationship so they don't come up with problems for you to fix, right? It's kind of unfair. They need to either fix their own problems or stop having them for, you know what I mean? Stop laying them on your lap, right? The issues, whether this is from the outside or not. Like I said, this could certainly be external pressures. Hangman energy. So there was a change because something was stuck. Something was stuck. It could have very well been the relationship was stuck in a rut, and you're wanting to, I'm stuck in a rut and I want to get out. You know, it's like one of those, right? Could very well be that you upset the apple cart in your relationship most recently because things were feeling very stuck with that hangman. Things were feeling like they weren't moving along. Could have been you were stuck in bickering behavior. Here we have more success. 6 of Wands covered by another 6. 6 of Discs. So success in finances, right? With 6 of Discs, we're talking about rewards beginning to come in, right? Because of all the hard work you've put in. Because you've, been so single-minded in all your focus. Could very well be that you have really made a leap in your career financially, Gemini, and this has caused problems in your relationship, or has caused you to have to sort of stand your own ground. It could be for some of you that it's caused your partner now to exhibit this kind of, sort of player hater attitude. Sometimes when you make more money than your lover or your partner, they can get a real case of the ass. And 8 of Swords. Or it could just be that you're dealing with someone who's quite toxic, and that now that your relationship, now that your career has taken a step up, you've regained some authority in your relationship and maybe even in your career as well. Now they're acting sort of very narcissistic and sort of me, trying to victimize you, maybe trying to guilt trip you because they don't feel as, now they're feeling sort of inadequate based on your success. Here we have more success. 8 of Pentacles, right? 8 of Pentacles talks about boundaries, like really knuckling down to work. Could very well be that some of you have started going back to work and working more, right? Again, tied with career and finances. Could very well be that you've been putting so much energy into your work recently, Gemini, and you're garnering the success, but your relationship somewhere along the line, right? Someone you're dealing with is not happy with it. They're a little bit jealous, right? This is actually a great reading. It indicates a change into a positive, right? But it's the 7 of Swords in the center that gives me pause, because there's definitely a feeling of obstacles in your way that you certainly have to overcome, Gemini. And this is a love reading. So somewhere along the line, this is the impact on your relationship. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it here. This is your middle October love check-in. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like, subscribe, and share. You can follow me now on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm going to try to do daily, every now and again, I will try to do sort of daily check-ins on Instagram and Twitter because they do have the shorter video feature. I may try to do pick your card for the day, or do a card per day for the signs on those platforms. But anyway, sound off in the description if you whatever you want to see, if you like the video, etc., what your experience is. But for right now, Gemini, have a wonderful October, and I see you in November. Bye bye now.